The average American driver is quietly killing their automatic car right now without realizing it. These aren't dramatic mistakes. They're small daily habits that stack up into $3,000 and $5,000 repair bills over a few short years, and you're probably doing at least 3 of them. Today we're breaking down 17 stupid mistakes destroying automatic cars across the country, and just one of them can add up to a full transmission rebuild before you see it coming. Don't skip ahead. Mistake number 3 has cost drivers more in tire and suspension damage than any other habit on this list. Let's start with mistake number 17. Riding the brake on every downhill. You crest a long hill, and your foot naturally settles on the brake pedal for the entire way down. It feels safe, it feels controlled, and it's cooking your brake system slowly with every trip. Continuous light pressure on the brake pedal generates constant friction between the pads and rotors, which builds up heat that has nowhere to go. Over long descents, that heat glazes your brake pads into a hard, useless surface and warps your rotors into vibrating discs that pulsate through the pedal for the rest of their life. Here's what you should do instead. Let off the brake entirely. Allow the car to gain a little speed, then apply the brake firmly for 2 or 3 seconds to slow down properly, and release again. This lets the rotors cool between applications and keeps the pads clean. A full brake pad and rotor replacement on both front wheels runs $400 to $800, and drivers who ride the brake downhill see that bill twice as often as everyone else. Mistake number 16. Ignoring transmission fluid changes for 100,000 miles. Somewhere along the way, car manufacturers started marketing certain automatics as having lifetime transmission fluid. Millions of drivers took that literally and never touched their fluid for the entire life of the vehicle. Here's what they don't advertise. Lifetime in that context means the lifetime of the warranty, not the lifetime of the car. Transmission fluid breaks down from heat cycles, shear stress, and contamination from internal wear particles. By 60,000 miles, that fluid has lost a significant portion of its lubricating and cooling properties. By 100,000 miles, it's actively grinding down the clutch packs, valve body, and torque converter. A transmission fluid change at a shop runs $150 to $300, including the filter. A transmission rebuild or replacement starts at $3,500 and climbs past $8,000 on many modern vehicles. Change the fluid every 60,000 miles, regardless of what the maintenance schedule claims, and your transmission will outlast the rest of the car. Mistake number 15. Using summer washer fluid in winter every fall, thousands of drivers across the northern United States discover the same problem the exact same way. They hit the washer button on the first freezing morning, and instead of fluid spraying onto the windshield, they hear a cracking sound coming from under the hood. That's the washer fluid reservoir splitting open because summer washer fluid, the blue kind, has a freezing point right around 32 degrees Fahrenheit. When water freezes, it expands, and that expansion cracks reservoirs, snaps hoses, and destroys washer pumps. The fix requires draining the reservoir and switching to winter washer fluid with a freezing point of -20 or lower before the first freeze. It costs $4 a jug. A cracked reservoir replacement is $150 to $350, and a washer pump is another $200 in parts and labor. Northern drivers who make this switch every October save themselves a shop visit every single winter. Mistake number 14. Shifting into reverse before the car fully stops. You're backing out of a parking space. You throw the shifter from drive to reverse while the car is still rolling forward slightly, and you barely think about it. That one habit is one of the most destructive things you can do to an automatic transmission. Inside the gearbox, the entire drivetrain has to reverse direction against its own forward momentum, and every one of those shifts slams the internal components together with force they were never designed to absorb repeatedly. Over time, the reverse gear planetary set, the valve body, and the shift solenoids all wear down from that repeated shock loading. The correct sequence is simple. Bring the car to a complete stop, wait 1 full second, then shift into reverse. A transmission valve body replacement runs $900 to $2,000 in parts and labor, and the drivers who need that repair earliest are almost always the ones who spent years shifting between gears without stopping first. Mistake number 13. Warming up the engine with AC or heat blasting you. Start the car on a cold morning and immediately crank the heater to maximum, expecting warm air within seconds. Or in summer, you fire up the engine and set the AC to full cold before you've even backed out of the driveway. Both habits put maximum load on a cold engine that hasn't circulated its oil yet. The AC compressor is one of the heaviest parasitic loads on the engine, and demanding full output during the first 30 seconds forces the crankshaft to work against a compressor drag that thick cold oil hasn't reached yet. Same story with the heater blower running full blast. It draws significant amperage from the alternator, which strains the belt system before the engine oil has fully lubricated the accessories. Start the car. Let it idle for 30 seconds with the climate controls off or low. Then engage the AC or heat. It's a 10-second change in habit that dramatically extends the life of your compressor, alternator, and belt system. Mistake number 12. Skipping wheel alignment. After hitting a curb, you clip a curb backing out of a parking spot, or you hit a deep pothole at speed, and the car shakes for a moment before feeling normal again. Most drivers keep going and forget it happened. Behind the scenes, the geometry of your entire front suspension may have shifted by a fraction of a degree, and even that small change starts wearing your tires unevenly from the first mile after the impact. A misaligned front end causes the inside or outside edge of your front tires to wear down 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the tread, and by the time you notice, you've usually destroyed one or both front tires. A wheel alignment is $80 to $120 at any shop. A set of 2 front tires is $400 to $800 depending on the vehicle. Anytime you hit a curb hard enough to feel it in the steering wheel, get an alignment checked within the week. The math never works in favor of skipping it. Mistake number 11. Keeping the ignition key on the same keychain as 10 other keys. Look at your keychain right now. If your car key is hanging on the same ring as your house keys, work keys, gym locker key, and half a dozen other things, you're slowly destroying your ignition cylinder every time you drive. That entire keychain hangs from the ignition switch every time the car is running, and the weight, plus the constant wiggle from vibration, wears the internal tumblers of the ignition cylinder down over time. Eventually, the cylinder starts sticking, then fails to turn, and finally locks up entirely at the worst possible moment. The fix is free. Move your car key to its own small ring or lanyard, and only put it into the ignition without the rest of the keychain pulling on it. An ignition cylinder replacement runs $200 to $500, and it requires programming the new cylinder to your existing key, or getting a new key made entirely. Mistake number 10. Turning the steering wheel. While the car is completely still, every driver has done it. You pull into a tight parking spot, come to a full stop, and then crank the steering wheel from lock to lock while the car isn't moving. It feels efficient. Get the wheels pointed the right way before pulling out. But that habit is called dry steering, and it's brutal on your power steering system and your tires. Without the wheels rolling, the steering rack has to force the tires to twist against the pavement, which puts enormous strain on the power steering pump, the tie rods, and the ball joints. Over time, dry steering wears out the entire front-end steering assembly years faster than normal driving would. It also scrubs the tread off your front tires at the contact patch. Turn the wheel only when the car is rolling, even if it's just an inch of movement. A power steering pump replacement is $400 to $700, and the drivers who dry steer regularly are the ones replacing them at 80,000 miles instead of 150,000. Mistake number 9. Ignoring a steering wheel vibration at highway speed. Your steering wheel started shaking around 60 miles per hour. It smooths out at 40 and at 75, so you tell yourself it's fine. That vibration is a warning your car is giving you, and every mile you drive with it makes the underlying problem worse. Steering wheel vibration at a specific speed usually means a wheel is out of balance, a tire has a belt separation forming inside it, or a wheel bearing is beginning to fail. All three get significantly worse the longer you drive on them. An out-of-balance wheel wears your tires unevenly and damages suspension components. A tire with an internal belt separation can blow out without warning at highway speed. A failing wheel bearing eventually seizes and destroys the hub assembly. A tire balance is $50 for all 4 wheels. A wheel bearing replacement is $400 to $800 per wheel, and a blowout at 70 miles per hour can total a car and injure everyone inside. Get any highway speed vibration checked within the week it starts. If any of this is landing, hit like and subscribe. That's what tells YouTube to show this to more drivers who need it. Let's keep going. Mistake number 8. Only filling the tank when it's almost empty. You drive until the low fuel light comes on, then find the cheapest gas station on the way home. Most drivers think of this as smart fuel management. Long term, it's one of the most damaging habits on this list. Your fuel pump sits inside the fuel tank and uses the surrounding gasoline as its primary coolant. When the tank is consistently run down to a quarter tank or lower, The pump runs hot, wears out its internal bearings, and brushes years faster than it should. On top of that, sediment and water settle at the bottom of any fuel tank over time. Running the tank low draws that sediment directly into the fuel pump and injectors. Keep the tank above a quarter full at all times. A fuel pump replacement runs $600 to $1,200 in parts and labor, and drivers who consistently run their tanks low replace the pump years earlier than drivers who refuel at half a tank. Mistake number 7. Washing your car with dish soap. From the kitchen, dish soap is a degreaser designed to cut through the toughest food oils and burned-on residue. That same aggressive chemistry strips the wax and protective coatings off your car's paint every single time you use it as a car wash. Over months of dish soap washes, the clear coat that protects your paint from UV damage, bird droppings, and road chemicals wears down, oxidizes, and eventually starts flaking off in patches. Once the clear coat is gone, the color coat underneath fades within a season, and the only fix is a full repaint. Automotive-specific car wash soap is pH balanced for automotive paint, cleans effectively without stripping wax, and costs $8 to $15 for a bottle that lasts a year. A single panel repaint at a body shop runs $400 to $1,200. A full vehicle repaint starts at $3,000 and climbs quickly. Use the right soap and your paint stays intact for the life of the car. Mistake number 6. Reversing immediately after a cold start in freezing weather. It's a freezing morning, you start the car, and you immediately throw it into reverse to back out of the driveway before the engine has warmed up at all. In cold weather, automatic transmission fluid thickens overnight and hasn't circulated to the internal components yet. Slamming that transmission into reverse before the fluid warms and pumps through the system puts the reverse gear, planetary set, clutch packs, and valve body under load with almost no lubrication. Repeat that habit every winter morning for years, and you're accelerating internal transmission wear dramatically. The fix is 30 seconds of patience. Start the engine, let the transmission fluid circulate briefly, then shift into reverse, gently, and back out slowly. A transmission rebuild starts at $3,500, and this exact habit is one of the biggest contributors to premature failure in northern climates. Mistake number 5. Never rotating the tires. Most drivers install a new set of tires and never think about them again until the tread is gone. What they don't realize is that the front and rear tires wear at completely different rates because they do completely different jobs. Front tires handle almost all of the steering, most of the braking on front-wheel drive vehicles, and most of the acceleration on the same. They wear roughly twice as fast as the rear tires on the average passenger car. Without regular rotation, your front tires reach the wear bars while your rear tires still have 40% of their tread life left, forcing you to replace the entire set instead of getting the full mileage out of them. Rotate the tires every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, either at the same time as your oil change or in between. Most shops rotate tires for free when you get an oil change with them. A new set of 4 tires runs $600 to $1,400, and drivers who skip rotations pay for that set twice as often as drivers who don't. Mistake number 4. Coasting downhill in neutral to save gas. This one has been passed down from generation to generation as a fuel-saving trick. Shift into neutral coming down a long hill and you save gas because the engine isn't under load. Here's the reality on any modern automatic. When you're coasting downhill in gear with your foot off the gas, the fuel injectors cut off completely and the engine uses zero fuel while the wheels drive the drivetrain. Shift into neutral and the engine has to idle to keep itself running, which uses more fuel than staying in gear with the injectors cut off. On top of the fuel penalty, coasting in neutral is illegal in many states, eliminates your ability to accelerate quickly if you need to avoid a hazard, and puts unnecessary shift shock on the transmission every time you drop it back into drive at the bottom of the hill. Modern automatics were engineered to be more efficient in gear than in neutral. Trust the engineering. Mistake number 3. Ignoring the color of your exhaust smoke. Your engine talks to you through its exhaust, and most drivers never listen. The color of the smoke coming out of your tailpipe tells you exactly what's happening inside the engine, and each color points to a different problem with different repair urgencies. Blue smoke means the engine is burning oil, usually because of worn valve seals or piston rings letting oil into the combustion chamber. White smoke, especially thick and persistent, often means coolant is leaking into the combustion chamber from a failing head gasket or cracked head. Black smoke means the engine is running too rich, burning more fuel than air. usually from a failing sensor or clogged air filter. Every one of those problems gets worse and more expensive the longer you drive with it. A head gasket repair starts at $1,500 and can pass $4,000 on a modern engine. A worn valve seal repair is $800 to $2,000. Catch these signs early and you have options. Ignore them and you have a bill. Mistake number 2. Only taking short trips that never warm the engine fully. Your car needs to reach full operating temperature to function the way it was designed. Short trips of 5 miles or less never let the engine warm up completely, and that creates a whole set of problems most drivers never connect. The engine oil never gets hot enough to burn off moisture and fuel contamination, which then builds up and turns the oil into sludge that clogs internal passages. The catalytic converter never reaches its efficient operating temperature, which shortens its life dramatically. The exhaust system stays wet inside from condensation that never boils off, which accelerates rust from the inside out. If your driving pattern is mostly short trips, either combine errands into one longer drive once a week, or take the car on a highway drive of at least 20 minutes every couple of weeks. A catalytic converter replacement runs $1,000 to $3,000. Sludge damage can total an engine. Both are direct consequences of a car that never gets to run the way it was designed to run. Mistake number 1. Never reading your owner's manual. This is the mistake almost every American driver makes, and it costs them more money collectively than any other habit on this list. The owner's manual sits in the glove box for the entire life of the car, unopened. Meanwhile, it contains the exact maintenance schedule for your specific vehicle, the correct fuel grade, the correct tire pressure, the correct oil weight, the location of every fuse and reset button, and the specific procedures for every warning light on your dashboard. Drivers pay dealerships and shops hundreds of dollars every year to be told information that's printed in the manual, sitting 3 feet from their steering wheel. Spend 1 hour reading your owner's manual, cover to cover. You'll walk away knowing more about your vehicle than 90% of the drivers on the road, and you'll stop paying for advice that came free with the car. It's the single most valuable free upgrade any car owner can make, and almost nobody does it. Tell me down in the comments how many of these you've been guilty of. I read every one, and if watching this just kept your car out of the shop a little longer, hit subscribe so you catch the next round of habits we're breaking down. The next video is already queued up right there. Click it and keep your engine alive a lot longer.